everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jimmy, and in today's video we will be taking a look at the TCL D1 Smart Lock. Now this one isn't one of the most fanciest smart locks out there, but this is the 5th or 6th one that I have reviewed, and out of all of them, this one is sincerely my favorite lock. The reason why is because it is simple and everything just works. The installation is very easy to do. It works in so many ways of unlocking. It has built-in Wi-Fi in this lock, which means that you can unlock it remotely with an application. You can also unlock it with your voice via Google or Alexa. You can unlock it with a mechanical key, just a regular everyday key. You can also unlock it with your fingerprint or also with the keypad. Now, for transparency purposes, this is a paid review. Even though everything I state here is just authentic and honest, it's me installing, using it, and sharing my feedback with you guys. It is a paid review for it to be shown on this size of channel, but it isn't me going based off of any other videos or script or anything else. So when it comes down to the TCL D1 Smart Lock, everything about this is easy and works flawlessly. From the installation being very easy to do, to setting it up within the application, using it within the application, having it connected through Alexa as well as Google, or just using the lock itself with the code, with the mechanical key, with the fingerprint. Everything is just, so far in my experience, flawless. And again, I've reviewed 5 or 6 different smart locks in the past. I've mentioned that some of those are a little flashy, some of them are bigger, some of them have different screens and they look really cool, or they might be able to unlock with a palm. But for what I am looking for, I want something with good battery life. I want something that just works easy. Anybody can go to the door. You have zero issues with battery dying, zero issues with setting up a temporary passcode, zero issues so far with the fingerprint or a code. Again, the experience that I've had with this has been great, and I can't wait to just keep using this one. Hopefully this is the last smart lock that I use, because so far I am very pleased. Now, if you are in the market for a brand new smart lock, I will be placing this link below the video inside the description. So this way it'll take you directly to the one that we have here that was reviewed in this video. So you can either use your voice to lock or unlock. You'll also be able to go in the manual way. So if you want to use your key, you turn to the left to get it unlocked and turn to the right to get it locked. And then you will have a voice prompt letting you know if it's locked or unlocked.
Unlocked.
If I lock it.
Locked.
Now, the other way you can get in is with your fingerprint.
Unlocked.
And the other way you can do it is with your code that you have set up.
Unlocked.
And then to lock it, you press the lock icon.
Locked.
The other way you can get in is with the application itself. So I'm going to go right over here to the front door, and I'm going to give it a press and hold.
Unlocked.
It is now unlocked. And then let's say I walk to the car and the auto lock didn't go just yet. I'd be able to press and hold.
Locked.
And now it's locked. Now with the locking and unlocking with the module inside your home, you'd be able to spin this for a lock or unlock, or you have this button right here. You can tap this button.
Locked.
It'll lock and unlock for you right here.
Unlocked.
You can also use your voice to lock and unlock. So for me, we do have a Echo that is in the living room. We also have another one that is downstairs. So I can just be anywhere in the home and I can say, unlock front door.
What's your voice code for front door?
3579.
Unlocking. Hang on.
Unlocked.
And now it's unlocked.
Door is unlocked.
Now I can head over to the basement. Lock front door.
Locking. Hang on.
Now, because locking is more secure than unlocking, you don't have to mention your code. So now when we head right back over here, it is now locked. And now to take a look at the application that you'll be using, it is called Smart Life. So this is a free application on the Play Store as well as the App Store. Once you open this up, it'll take you to your home page. There's a few tabs on the very bottom. You have rooms. So if you have created rooms, I have YouTube room and living room. You can also create scenes, and then you have a couple more tabs. But what I want to show you is on the very top right hand side, when you're setting up your D1 Smart Lock, you hit on plus and you go to add device. Now this was where you went through the administrative settings on the lock itself to put in your Wi-Fi password and information so it's able to find it. So immediately once it finds it, mine was just called D1 since this is the TCL D1 Smart Lock, and I went right here on the top right hand side. This is where I changed the name. Now I wanted to change the name just to front door. The reason why is because when I use my voice to either lock or unlock the door, I can use it with Alexa or Google Assistant, and all I'd have to say is something like, Google Assistant, unlock the front door. And then from there, you just have to state a voice code so it can unlock, but anytime you lock it, you don't have to give that code. So that right there is how I was able to edit the name. This is the icon where if you press and hold, it'll be a lock or unlock. You can also take a look at your battery percentage, and you can see how well of a signal you have, which that right there is a good Wi-Fi signal. Down over here, you can take a look at your logs. So this is everything that's been happening on the door. You can see if it was a manual lock, if I unlocked it, if it was done with a code, if it was done with a finger, if it was remotely unlocked. So you can see that this one was me using a code. This was me using my finger. So it'll give you the full entire record of what is happening with this door with locks and unlocks. Next up, you have your member management. So this is where you can put in all the members of your home. So this is just me. I'm the administrator. I do have the administrative code. I also have the fingerprint and a passcode using the keypad. For Bentley, he doesn't have the fingerprint just yet, just because he hasn't arrived home, so we haven't set it up. But he does have his keypad password right there. And then also the wife, she has both of hers. So this is where you're able to add in your fingerprint or password, and when you do your fingerprint, you just have to tap where the fingerprint location is 4 times. Now, if you set up a code or a fingerprint and you haven't assigned them, it will show up in this screen right here. It'll let you know that there is a passcode or a fingerprint that's not associated. When you tap on that, you can actually just link them with whatever name or whatever member that code or fingerprint belonged to. Now, one thing that's really nice about this is for every single member, you're able to add in a fingerprint or passcode. Also, you can change the name of it. You just tap right there. You can put in whatever the password name is. This one right here, we used my thumb. So this way I know for a fact that if a fingerprint was used, that was how it was unlocked, or if it was done with the passcode. Now, when you add in members, you just tap on this plus button, you put in their name, and then when you go back to this screen here, you tap on this. This is where you add in fingerprints and the password. Now, next up, you have a temporary password. So if you have a Airbnb, or maybe you just have friends or family coming on over, you can put in a code, and then whatever this code is that you put in, you just have to make sure that you tell them, and you can select the time that it works. So right now, this is the time it's effective once you open up the screen, and you can change it to maybe this will be effective tomorrow, and let's just do it at like 11:20, and then for the time when it ends, you can probably push it ahead, maybe 4 days, and maybe they're leaving at like noon, or we'll just say 1 o'clock. So then once you put in 1 o'clock, then you hit on confirm. It'll work from this time period, this temporary code. So this is the one that, they're there for a few days, and then you just hit on save. And now for the last category here, this one is called set, which I think is short for settings, but there's a dormant switch. You also have sleep time, so this way you can choose when you want the lock to be quiet. You have remote unlock. You can turn this off if you want to, which means nobody can unlock that lock with the application. You would have to use your key, the passcode, or your fingerprint. You also have permission settings, which the administrator who set up the lock can go through here for some additional settings. Here's your voice password. So this is where if you are using your voice to lock or unlock your door, this is the setting you want to turn on, and you can change the voice password if you have to. Now, the only time you ever give a password via your voice is when you unlock the door. If you just say something like Google lock the door, you don't have to have a password because you are, securing your home. Anytime that you unsecure your home, which is unlocking the lock, and you're doing it by voice, you have to give it a passcode because anybody can talk to your Google or Alexa, but it doesn't mean that they know what your password is. You also have the automatic lock switch, so you can have this on or off. Originally, this one was turned on, and the auto delay for the automatic lock was 10 seconds. I switched it to 120, so this means that we have 2 minutes because sometimes you're going in and out with groceries, or you're just going outside real quick to throw something away in the trash. You want to come back, you don't want it locked immediately, so it'll at least give you 2 minutes. Next up, you have the lock volume. So if it is a little too loud, you can bring it down to normal or put it down to low. But I do like the ability of hearing lock and unlock from, some pretty good distances away. So the high volume works for me. And also you can change the device's language. And then there is a mute mode. So after opening, the door lock can be in silent mode for a specific period of time. And now for the unboxing. You'll be greeted with all of the paperwork and diagrams that you need. So you have the diagram of the smart lock. You also have the user manual, which will give you all the details that you need all in one place. There is an administrative menu of the lock, and that's just a paper showing you the menu. You also have the setup guide if you need to do any type of drilling, and then all of the video guides for installation, setup. Now inside of this accessory kit, this is where you'll find everything for the latch. So you have your latch screws, you have the latch, you'll also have the strike box, and then also the strike, which would go onto your door frame. Now on the top right hand side, this is where you'll find your 2 keys. You'll also find all the rest of the screws for mounting, and they also have extra screws. So those are like the spare parts, which not a lot of people include that. This is where you'll have the exterior assembly, and then towards the very bottom, this is where you'll find the interior assembly. So that is your mounting bracket for the interior assembly. Here is a view of everything laid out. And for the installation, this is where you take off your old deadbolt or smart lock. You can see that we had a pretty tall smart lock there when we had our door painted, so the old color was underneath it. But this is where you put in your striker into the door frame, and then you will install the deadbolt into the door and put in the 2 wood screws. Next up, you will install the exterior assembly. So I put the wire underneath it. You just slide everything into place as you see there. And then you'll be able to put on your mounting bracket. So you just place that cable through that portion on the bottom right hand side, and then you put in your 2 mounting screws. Once the 2 mounting screws are on, then you'll be able to connect the cable, and then this is where you'll put in the 2 other screws that is right behind where those batteries would sit, and the additional mounting screw towards the bottom, also with the rubber cover. Now, this is where you put in all of those 8 batteries. Again, I think it's better than 4 because the battery lasts much longer. So hopefully you guys have appreciated this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely, you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.